Hi all, welcome to MSc Technologies. Yesterday class we discussed about the what is API and what is the use of API along with the how to do manual testing of the API application through Postman. Okay, these things we have seen yesterday class. Today class we will discuss about how to do automation part by using Python. If you want to automate initially what you need to do, you have to install this request library. Just to copy this command, then go to here, open any command prompt. Okay, any command prompt you can run this command. It will install this request library. If it is already installed, it's come like this, requirement already satisfied, like that. Okay, for me it is already installed, that's why we are seeing like this. Okay, for you it will install. Now next step what we need to do. Okay, if you want to test the API, right, we have already developed one application by using a Flask. This already explained. Now initially you need to run this file. Already I have opened the command prompt, right? Here only you can run Python server side script Flask. This means it is a API application which I have developed by using a Flask. If you run, this application will run on this URL. Okay. After running this application, you should not close this terminal. Just you can minimize. If you close, this application doesn't work. Okay. Now we ran the API application. Now next approach is what we have to test. Manual testing already we have done. Now we are going to automation purpose. Okay, just will do the same manual testing whatever we have done, right? Same we are doing the through automation. For automation, what you need to do, you have to import a request library initially. This is the library which help to automate the API calls. Now first let me explain this part which I have commented. Request.get. In the request library, there is a get method. For example, if you want to do the get operation, this is the one we have to do. Okay. Before that, let me open this customer API details form. These details are same which we have used yesterday. Okay. Initially, we need to automate the first API. Okay. In the real time also, if you are going to automate any API test cases, right? Initially, you have to do through Postman. Then you have to understand what is the request data, what is the API, what is the HTTP method, what is the response data. According that, you have to plan for a automation. Okay, because already we have done the manual testing. Now we are planning for automation. Okay, this get method you have to give. Initially, you have to give the URL. Okay, this is a different URL. Okay, just I give an example. In the real time, actually, what happened, right? We have to give the username and password of the application. Just to directly, we cannot access the any URL in the real time. To pass a username and password, what we need to do? We have to use a authentication as a parameter. Then HTTP basic authentication, username, password we have to enter. But here we have created our own application which doesn't require any username password. That's why directly we can access the API. Okay, in the real time you can remember this is how I have done. If someone asks in the interviews also, you can tell we have to use the authentication like this. Same authentication if you want to pass in the Postman, right? Let me show you. Okay, this is also important in the real time. If you give directly, it doesn't work. We have to pass a username and a password also. Where we can pass, I will show you now. Okay, this is the Postman. There is a second tab is there, authorization. Come to authorization. type is there, right? Here you can select a basic authentication. Okay, here you can give the username, password of that application. This username, password details and all, you can get it from a dev team only. This and all you know it, you can ignore. Okay, sometimes it is a token based domain. You have to select a bearer token. Here you have to give the token. This part and all real time they only explain, but in the Postman you should know where to give the token, where to give the authentication of these things. Okay, we have remained some other authentication types also, but you can tell I have used the only basic authentication, bearer token, like that only. Okay, now we'll go to the back to code. If you send this request like this, then it will return a response that we have to store into one variable. In this response, what we do usually, we have to validate the response status code along with the response data. To get a response status code from a response object, right? What you need to do, response object dot status code. It will return the response status code of that API call. If you want to get a response data, what you need to do, response object dot JSON of. It will return the response data for that particular request. And here one more thing is, just I am printing for to show you what is the status code, what is the data. But in real time, what we need to do, we have to validate whether the response status code is expected or not, along with the response data also expected or not. How do we do? There is a assert statement is there. Okay, using this assert statement, what we can do, we can validate the response status code along with the data. Let me explain what is the assert state. Assert, then we have to give some conditions. The condition is not satisfied. Here, what is the condition? Response object dot status code equals to 200. If it is not the 200, then what happen? It will throw the violation. Then it will fail the test cases. It will return this error message. Similarly, if you want to validate a response data, assert response object dot JSON equals to test data. If the data is where here we are mentioning, this is the data, and that's when we are expecting this data. If it is not the same, it will fail and it will throw this message. Now let me run and show you, okay, how to do it. Okay, now let me run it. Okay, to run it, we have to open a separate console, execution console. Okay, while executing, remember that application we ran already, right? That should not load. In this tab we are running, right? It should not close. If it is closed, we cannot perform the API operation. Okay. Now let me run this code. Python request. Now you can see this is the response status for 200, and customer details are customer 1 Kumar, customer 2 Banu. Okay, this is only we are expecting. That's why there is no issue. That's why then what happen in automation, this test case will get passed. Sometimes, but example assume here I am expecting the status code as a 202. I am expecting status code as a 202, but actually it will return a 200. Then let's see what happened. Now you can see it got failed with a certain error. What is error message? Response status code is not expected. That means we are expecting 202, it is returning 200. You can see we are expecting 202, it is returning 200, but both are not same. That's why it is failing. In the real time, we have to fail a test case like this. Okay, if you go 200, okay, then it's fine. Okay, this is how we have to validate. As validation part, the status code should be 200, return response data should be like this. If it is same, it doesn't fail, otherwise it will fail. Okay, this is how we can validate the API response. If someone asks how do you validate, you have to answer by using assert statement, we can validate. I have validated. Like that we have to answer. Still, if you want to explore the asset statement, right? You can Google or you can do ChatGPT. What is asset statement? How we have to use like that. Now, next thing is I want to create a new record by using the post request by using a post method. Okay. Then what is the approach? Let me explain. For post to okay. For post to we have to give the request data. Okay, we know how to pass a request data in a postman. Now we'll see in the request library also how to pass. Initially we have to import a request library. Okay, here we are sending a request dot post. In the first parameter we have to give a that URL. This is the create, right? That's why we have given a create. If we have a payload or if you want to give any request data, then what is the approach? JSON equals to that payload. Okay, this is called request data which required to create a record. Now what we are going to do? We are going to create a new record. Creation means you should give a values, otherwise it cannot able to create, right? That's why we have to give some values or some data to the request. Usually we call it as a payload. This payload, how do you send? JSON equals to payload. That's all. Then it will go on, it will create a new record. Then what I am doing? Again same. Okay, every request operation we have to validate the two things. One is the status code, other one is the response data. Okay, now here I am printing just to show you. But here what I am doing? Here I am checking the status code. Okay, response object, right? This is response object dot status code should be 200 along with the response data. This is what we are expecting. Here I am not validating the complete response, just I am validating for a customer 3. Response.json mean it will return a dictionary. From the dictionary, I'm validating a customer 3 values. Okay, but payload what I'm giving customer 3 as a name along with the mobile in another dictionary. The value also another dictionary it will create. Now let me run this file. You can see response status code is 200, response data is a customer 1, customer 2, customer 3 is you can see mobile along with the name MH Technology. Whatever we are giving, same only it is created. Then we are validating the same data one, you can see here. Then if it is same mean it is created properly. Then we can make a test case pass. Otherwise what happen? It will fail. Okay. Then we have to report or we have to file a defect. This is not not working as expected like that. Okay, that's all. But here to make a clear understanding, I have created every method, get method, post method, put and delete separate file. But in the real time, we can put in a same file also. Okay. Now next we'll see the put method. Put mean what? We have to update existing record. Okay. Then what is the approach? To update employee request dot put. The first parameter we have to give a URL. Second JSON. If any data is required, we have to give. What I am doing? Customer when value I am updating with the Naresh. Okay. Then same story only. Here we are printing the status code along with the here you have to remember. Okay. But example, if updation mean okay, this update is the third one. You can see the response status. Response data type is a text. It is not a JSON. Then how do you get the text mean? Just we have to use the response dot text. If it is a JSON mean response dot JSON of parenthesis we have to use. For status code, just you have to give. No need to use a parenthesis. For text also you have to give direct text, no parenthesis. This you have to remember. Okay. Next, validate the response status code. It is same only for every operation, same manner. to validate the response data. Very simple, response data text. We are using a strip function. Strip, what it will do? It's remove the leading space of the starting and ending from a string. Okay. Next, this is the what I am expecting. Customer one record updated successfully. If it is not exact text, right, it will throw this violation. Now let me run for updation part. Python 4. This is also expected only text and response statement. Apart from this, if it is returning anything, it's fail. Then we can consider that request is not working as expected. Okay. Next final one is just a minute. Deletion. I want to delete the existing record. Then what is the approach? Request dot delete URL, then payload. I want to delete a customer too. Then same remaining operations are same. Response status code, response text. I am validating here. Now let me run and show you. For execution, you can use anything, whether it is a PyCharm or Visual Studio or any editor also you can use. This is also success, you can see. Then if you want to make sure whether it is deleted exactly or not, what you need to do, again we have to run a get method. Get method, what it will do, it's return all the customer details. You can see customer details are customer 1 is a Naresh. Okay, it is updated. Customer 2, there is no customer 2, it is deleted. Customer 3 also we have added these details. Okay, it is failing because we have updated the customer 1 and the complete details also not expected. Okay. Okay, hope you understood very well. Okay, how it is working and all. This is very simple only. Let me explain one more time. We have to install a request library. This is the library which we use to automate the API calls in a Python. Initially, you have to remember the real time we have to pass a username and password. That's why we have to use this code authentication HTTP basic authentication. We have to give a username and password. Okay, but here it is not required. That's why we are sending the directly without any credentials and all. Now you have to do some additional task. What is the task mean? Okay, practice sets. There is a practice set yesterday class I showed you, right? Request.in. Here there are some APIs, post, put, get, delete for all the methods. These you have to automate. Okay, then you will get a clear idea how to develop automation scripts for the API testing. Okay. Okay, that's all about the coding part. Okay, if anything I miss, let me check. Okay, Swagger documents already we explained. These methods also, okay. Hope everything is done. Okay, just you have to run this server side script and that console you should not close. Then you can execute the same script only once. Then while practicing, you can do with this site. Okay, practice sites, you can practice all these. Okay, that's all today class. We'll see the next class. Okay, if anything is